Quinlan, this is Melbourne Musos. I'm going a bit bluesy. Got my dub horns in. Ugh. Huh. There you go. I'm taping this on Friday the 13th. Unlucky for some, Blues Fest has been cancelled. Only a week or so out. And yeah, so I thought, well, bloody hell, let's do some blues. Okay. Citing all the usual things, lack of ticket sales, all sorts of business, one has to think about, okay, all the ticket holders are preparing to get a refund, hopefully, and all that sort of stuff. But what about the musicians? Only a week or so out, and are they going to get paid? Have they already paid money, booked? Have they already got any kind of an advance? What's going on? What is going to happen to the musicians? Are you just shit out of luck? What's going to happen? And that's where we Musos getting pirating foisted upon us. We've got this, we're getting, we're getting AI'd, scraped and all that. Then on top of it, one of the most famous of festivals in Australia has closed down pretty much at the last minute. Are they going to get paid for the gig? Are they getting paid for the rehearsals that they've already had? Are they going to get paid for things that they've already bought in preparation? All these things out of pocket. What's going to happen? Insurance. Hello? All this sort of business. I'm sorry for starting out on a little bit of a kind of note, but yeah, it's the Blues Fest. It's only the news only came through just a little while ago. So that's why I'm going all bluesy. There's a bit of a New Orleans blues. Doing the old 12 bar. I shall talk about the blues a little bit. And here we go. Okay. Let's see what happens. Blues is a music genre and musical form that originated among African Americans in the deep south of the United States around the 1860s. Blues has incorporated spirituals, work songs, field hollers, shouts, chants, and rhymed simple narrative ballads from the African American culture. The blues form is ubiquitous in jazz. Oh, I love the big words. Oof. Ubiquitous. Okay. Rhythm and blues and rock and roll, and is characterized by the call and response pattern. The blues scale, which I've just demonstrated, but I'm going to talk about a little bit more, and specific chord progressions, of which the 12-bar blues is the most common. Blue notes, or worried notes, usually thirds, fifths, and sevenths, flattened in pitch, the most common being the flattened fifth. Okay, that one. Are also an essential part of the sound. Blues shuffles, or walking bass, reinforce the trance-like rhythm and form a repetitive effect known as the groove. There you go. Oh, I hope I can sound groovy, but let me talk about it a little bit. First of all, a 12-bar sequence is often known as a 4-2-1 pattern when you're talking about the scale the bar degrees. I'm getting to the scale degree. The 4-2-1 pattern. The reason being is because you have 4 bars of the 1, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars back to 1, so it says 2, then The perverted blues, the butchered blues. There you go. So what it is you've got 4 bars. Now, here's the chord progressions. You've got 4 bars of 1 of the scale, okay? This is C. C blues is what I've got tuned here. So you've got 4 bars of C, number 1. What is the 4th of C? C, D, E, F. So you have 2 bars of F, that's that one. Okay. Then you go back to the 1, which is C. Then you go up to 5, and this is the 1 bar each. So you get G, 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 F, 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 C, 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 C. And if you're going to do it again, back up to G, then you start again. And that's the ubiquitous, or what a word, the ubiquitous pattern is a 12 bar. Whenever you, there's some things in our trade you've got to know. If you go up, and it's happened to me, I've been on a bandstand and the bass player's turned up, who I've never met before. It was just a, hello, there you go, let's play. And the piano player, it was a jazzy night kind of thing. So there you go. And the keyboard piano player said, let's do a little blues in B flat. Okay, what are the chords? And he thought he was just going to play B flat. And I'm there going, uh-oh. And there's murmuring in the crowd. Know your trade, get a few formats, sort of thing. A bit like a cook. You need to know your recipes. Otherwise, you're cooked, mate, cooked. Ah. C up to F, back to C, G, 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 F, F. There you go, you see. Now I'll talk about styles a little bit. Now what I've got here, because I've got the dub horns here, very New Orleans, very 3/2 clave kind of thing, made famous by Bo Diddley. So much so that they call it the Bo Diddley beat. How many times have I explained the Bo Diddley beat on this show? But what it is the reason I'm doing the bluesy kind of tilt tonight is because of needing to sort of say, what the hell happened to Blues Fest, which has been cancelled today. If you only just walked in and said, oh, that's that dude on 31. I can't remember his name. And, there's Doris. I remember Doris, the drum kit. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway. But what it is, so I thought, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to do Stravinsky? I don't think so. I'm going to stick to the blues. There you go. Now, I'm going to take the dub horns out, and for a little bit, I'll put them back in. But one of the big things about drums, I've talked about harmony a little bit. I hope I explained it okay. I hope most of you know it already. There you go. Actually, I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to backstep. I'm going to put them back on because seeing I'm doing harmony, I'm going to do one thing. The blues scale is made from if we're doing it in C, but first of all, I'll do the numbers. First of all, it's the first, flat and third. Oh, come on. Okay. The fourth, I'll just hit my triggers. And then the flat 5, and then the 5. Okay? And then up to the flat 7, which should be there if I had another tom-tom. And then the octave. Oh, I've got some over here. And what it is, that's your blues scale. It's like it's a minor pentatonic scale, except you add the flat 5th to it, okay? If you're a guitarist, it's a minor blues scale is 1/4, 1/3, 1/3. And I'm laughing because I've just alienated half my audience. Anyway, what it is the blues scale is 1/4, 1 2 3 1 3. If you know what I'm getting at, that's what goes on there. And there you have it. Now I'll turn them off. I just wanted to get that out the way. I thought I better not break up the harmonic part of the evening. Now what happens is, generally speaking, put your lips back together, Chris. Get the teeth back in. But what it is you have the blues beat, which is generally thought of as 12/8. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I woke up this morning and then bang. Oh, there you go. Now, what happens is there's your slow blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. If you're counting them at triplets, that's fantastic. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. A lot of people think, oh, that 6/8 blues thing. I got thrown once. I've told the story before, but the guy wasn't taking any prisoners, and he said, give me one of those 6/8 blues. I said, what do you mean? Don't you know what a 6/8 blues is? Like that. And he started playing, and I go, oh, I just knew it by another name. He made me feel that big. So I made sure that every time I taught it to one of my students, they would never, ever be in one of those positions put there by an arsehole, okay, who's not taking any prisoners. And what goes on is that when you're doing it 6/8, yeah, sure, but it's got a feeling of 4. So 6/8 has got more to do with. It's a bit like saying, well, I'll play a 2/4 rock. What? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 1, 2, 1, 2. It can be, of course, but the thing about it is it's just language and communication is what it is. Get it? Got it? There it is. Now, what starts to happen, if you are doing it in triplets, you are playing polyrhythmically sometimes without even knowing it. And what I mean by that is if you do this little lick, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... You're playing 3 inside the 3. You're playing a non-uplet. Oh, I can't play, if it's in, I can't play non-uplets. Bloody polyrhythms, who needs that? What do you do if you're playing blues? 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. Get it? Oop, there you go. All right. Now, what happens then is I'm going to talk about essentially working the speeds up. Okay. Now, of course, when you're doing a slow blues, there's a point where, what's going to happen? You morph into a shuffle. What's happening with my lips today? A shuffle. And so what happens is, simply put, a shuffle is where, if you are doing triplets, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, what you're doing is taking out the and. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. And then you have 1, and then you morph the count into 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. When I teach my kidlets, my students, God bless their little socks, but what happens is when I'm teaching them, I get them, if they're not bashful, can you skip still, just like in kindergarten? Yeah. I haven't done it for what's going on. I said, skip across the floor. And they skip. That's a shuffle. Skip across the floor just like you did in kinder. Okay? And then what happens is you've got your feet are doing the motion. Now what happens, think about all the ways that a human moves. They have to crawl before they walk. After you walk, you might jog, and then you run, and then you sprint. But there's skipping, you see, as well. Now this is just like a horse cantering or galloping or trotting, you see, or prancing. Do I? Prancer and dancer. Okay. G'day, Rudolph. Okay. Notice you got a red nose there. Been on the scotch, have you? Anyway, what goes on? Rated M already. Okay. So what happens is that you've got a shuffle. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And as that builds up, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, you can just go to 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. But that takes a little bit of doing at the start of it. You know, you could just go. What you're doing is laying the groundwork. You're really just playing a cut time. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. And then you leave the rest of the band to play the shuffle. You see, and that's what happens. Now, what also happens with that is that you can get a little bit on the heavy side with it as well. And one of the famous rock and roll shuffles is Hot for Teacher. Okay. And then when you're doing things like that, all of a sudden, you can almost forgive yourself for doing a bit of a train beat. Ready, Steve? That's all right, mama. That's all right. There's a lilt to it. You can play it straight. But if you're getting into it, hoi! There it is. There you go. All right. So there's all the nuances. Now, when you're really getting up there, there is another kind of shuffle. I'll take you through them all, but at the moment I'm talking about speed. Okay, so what happens is that if you think of a shuffle that's triplet based, so you're going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, like that. And you're starting to get a bit quick. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. There is a thing called a rolling shuffle, which is where you play triplets, you accent the 2 and the 4, so 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Over there, and you get 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Great for Celtic music, which is getting a bit away from blues. And one of the great rolling shufflers, who remembers Uriah Heep and Lee Kerslake, the drummer? He loved his rolling shuffle. Look at Yourself, that album, with Ossie Bisser on the big solo. It was all quite famous. We know it better as This Time I'm Playing to Win, Little River Band on into John Farnham, and Lay Down Your Guns and Surrender by Barnesy, Jimmy Barnes. It's quite the popular little thing, especially if you've got Celtic roots, that kind of thing, because it fits in perfectly with any kind of Irish jig, bowron kind of. Oh, I'm going away from the blues though. But anyway, that's what you have. Now, if I'm going to stick with the shuffle, one thing that you can do with the shuffle is half time it. And what happens, you get that 1 to 2 to 3 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 4 to 1 to 2 to 3. Double paradiddle is lovely. 1 and 2 and 3 to 4 1 that sort of stuff. You can get into reggae, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 and to 2 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3, and so on it goes. And then you're starting to get into the derivatives. It's almost as good as ubiquitous. Lips are starting to work, which is nice. Now what happens is if I go into that kind of biz, derivative forms, bluegrass, country, western, jazz, jug band, ragtime, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, hip-hop, which I just sort of did, contemporary R&B, okay. Fusion genres, biker metal, blues rock, desert blues, gospel blues, punk blues, soul blues, lots of blues. Regional scenes, oh my Lord, half the world. British blues, the British invasion, all that stuff. Canadian blues, Chicago blues, Delta blues, Detroit blues. I've already done a little bit of the New Orleans second line rhythm blues and things like that. Swamp blues, grunge. There's New Orleans blues, Texas blues. One of the things about Texas blues is when you go to Texas, what they have is a shuffle, but there's the Texas shuffle. And this is deceptively tricky because you've got to have a bit of a strong left hand. What you do is you have 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. In jazz, it's also known as a jump rhythm in many cases. So you might have just 4 on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone from anything Texas and even Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac is known to play that kind of thing. Ooh, there you go. And there's all the different kinds of things that you can do. One little tip, which is can be very advantageous, that's another big word, not that big, but anyway, is try to get your bass drum doing that 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 3. If you look down at Odd Sock Boot Camp, can you see the kind of like an up-down kind of motion with my foot? If you can get that, because often the shuffle can be, when you're trying to get it, can be a little bit empty sometimes, like. But if you got, dance to that. And if you can keep it going all the time, it starts to become a bit of a powerful kind of thing. Now, one of the things, if I go back to speed, as you're building that up and you want to get that a bit quicker, then you can go to your double kick. And for that, I tend to use a left foot start because I'm a child of my time. Back in the day, good old H used to get me to do the John Bonham, everything, left hand hi-hat, or left foot hi-hat, I should say. There's my left foot. That's all right, Mama. The metal version. All right, there you go. I better start thinking about, I'm over already. So, I hope you got something out of this show. Oh, where's my dub horns? I hope you got something out of that as well. Oh. get it a bit louder. Why not? Oh, my name is Chris Quinlan. This is Melbourne Musos. And now for a nice glass of